Back to USF Esports. I'm Rishi Alva, and I'm co-hosting with Mason. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you, Rishi?
I'm doing well. Today we're going to be going over the College COD League today with our COD Gold team. We are not in the best of positions as of right now in the leaderboards, but we will have like a turnout today.
Oh yeah, certainly. It's gonna be a good way to see how USF Gold's gonna be able to rebound after struggling a little bit in the last match that they did. So let's see how they're gonna do today.
Yeah. So if anyone is new to the COD series, this is going to be a best of 5, first at 3. It's going to be in game modes from hardpoint search, control, hardpoint search. We are playing against GSU, Georgia Southern University.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on how we'll do today?
I have the hope that USF will do good in this. I hope for a productive game. I hope for an interesting game. It's not always fun to see like just a roll of one team or the other. So let's just see how their communication goes, and let's just see how well they're going to be able to work together in this match.
Yeah. Today we're playing first on Gavutu Hardpoint. There's a lot of like new mechanics that are being shown like through like pro games that are like coming out to light. Like getting control of that mid map on this first map is going to be so important. Other things such as like rotations, firefights, like those type of things that are needed in order to win this game are going to be very important for this specific map.
And of course, it's going to be how effective are they going to be able to utilize their grenades, how they're going to be able to distract the enemy team, be able to get at least maybe a kill or at least get some HP off of some of the members. And let's just see how USF's going to essentially rebound on this.
We're going to take a little short break until we load into the game. We'll see you then. Hi, welcome back. We're going to be loading into Gavutu Hardpoint against GSU today.
Yes. So it's going to be very interesting to see how USF and GSU are going to be able to go. Are they going to go offensive, defensive? Are they going to go on a more 2-2? It's going to be very interesting how it's going to be watched throughout the game.
Yeah, we have Mr. Mojo getting killed on P2. We got players like holding top angles. They're already rotating for spawns. Wow.
Yeah, and it looks like most of USF already got wiped pretty quickly, so that's going to take a little bit of time for USF to be able to rebound. Let's just see how they're going to be able to come back from that.
Yeah, also, there's a new use of a new gun being used, the Volts. This is weird for the rotation because normally it's like automation and like the MP40 that are being used. GSU taking care of the entire team of USF right now.
Yeah, it's good. It's highly dependent upon what individual uses and how the team uses, but usually, as you said, it's usually Automaton and MP40. And also, let's just see how they're going to be able to utilize their grenades at this in the next 20-30 seconds.
Yeah, Chop was up here holding down, was it top 3 of Bo? He's being able to like take care of all the people trying to rotate inside. USF not really getting a handle on the game right now.
Yeah, it does not seem like it. Looks like GSU's kind of getting a little bit of an advantage on USF. So let's just see how it's going to be progressing, especially since the hardpoint's going to be swapping in 35 seconds.
Yeah, Choppa's still up there in the top 3. USF's not able to take care of that. It's going to be very like difficult in order for the rotation for the new spawn point to come through because Choppa's is out there being able to take care of anyone in the open area trying to rotate to P2.
Yeah, and as I said earlier, like the gunfight's going to be very efficient because you see at certain points GSU's just winning the gunfights. But then at that moment, as I said it, USF won one of the gunfights.
Yeah, Napoleon's got his first 2 kills of the game today. GSU already rotating for P3. The teams have set up their new hold for P3. You got 1 mid, 1 on the outer ring, 1 holding circle. USF's just not being able to get their foot in the ground. Like the team isn't being able to win any of these gunfights. This team is like playing very smart.
Yeah, and I'm wondering what's going through the minds of like USF right now. Are they saying like we need to get to the hard point right now? Or are they saying that we need to take a few seconds to regroup, ensure that our firefights are being more efficient? It's really going to be interesting to see how they're going to be able to react, especially when they're down 90 to 26 right now.
Yeah, Mr. Pig out here using a pistol to take care of people around the circle. Testin out here just like taking over, making sure that USF isn't able to get it, but Mojo takes him out quickly.
Yeah, it gets kind of interesting in some of these matches, especially since in 10 seconds the hard point is going to swap again. So it almost looks like USF took a little bit too long to dominate that hard point. They didn't really be able to use it or be able to take it properly.
USF is holding now P4. They're able to like get a proper control, but actually Vi spawns out, and so does Napoleus. This doesn't look good for USF coming up right now.
Yeah, but also like they do have a little bit of time to rebound at this moment. It just depends on how everything is going to be working out. But the issue is that GSU is kind of playing efficiently. USF does not seem like they're getting all their firefights properly done.
Yeah, GSU is like holding the angles that like other teammates can like help on if ever they lose their like position. This type of team is winning all these gunfights properly.
Yeah, and there's a few examples like Mr. Pig, he just went down, and I don't know if they're going to try to change their strategy a little bit or if they're going to maintain it, but USF does need to bring something else with this with this point being contested right now.
Yeah, the rotation from GSU to P4 to P5 is now being into play. Vi getting spawned out. He's normally an SMG player, but now is playing with an automaton for this map, which I believe works for USF. With such a large map such as Gavutu, you want to be using like a 3AR setup instead of the 2-on-2.
Yeah, looking at this exact moment, it does look like Mr. Pig and Napoleon's got they accidentally got some friendly fire right there, so that may affect the course of the game. And it still just looked like the GSU still dominating all of the points, and that's not going to be really good for USF in the long term.
Yeah, GSU is winning every gunfight that they need to be winning. They're not giving USF any opportunity to take over this next hard point. This is going to be a very, very hard break for USF. The best course of action, I would believe, as an ex-player, would be to work on the next rotation for P1. They should give up this point. It's not worth it at this time. And they are just losing every gunfight. GSU is taking over this fight, winning every single fight. It's just not fair for USF at this point.
Yeah, and they're not taking the advice that you said. I wonder if they're like in some sort of like desperation mode at the moment. I don't like to say that for teams, but it does look like they're just trying to like get the point as fast as they can. Maybe get a little bit more points on the board as soon as possible, especially since GSU already has the hard point again, so they won the rotation again.
Yeah, Testin holding down mid cut for P1, not giving USF any opportunity in order to take care of this point.
Yeah, and it looks like GSU is playing really well. And as I say that, Mr. Mojo does get the kill right there. But it does look like they're doing pretty defensive. They have one person out, maybe try to like mess with the team a little bit, like USF a little bit. But yeah, their defense is going really well, and they got 25 more points, so they win. So
yeah, as we were talking about in the pregame, we were talking about wanting to take care of that mid control, and we saw Mr. Pig just getting taken down from that mid control. I feel like the use of what he was doing was not necessary at this point, especially how down USF is right now. GSU already got the rotation for P2. They already have the hold that they need to have for the top of boat. It's gonna be a hard break for USF at this point in time. This map will be going to GSU within the next 20 seconds.
Yeah, and sometimes that's just how it goes. Sometimes you may not have the first like best map in the world, so it's going to be really interesting to see how USF's able to like come back from this. Like, you can't let yourself be down from such a big loss. You have to pick yourselves back up and go, all right, what did we do wrong? What do we need to do? How are we going to change strategy? What different type of weapons are we using at this exact moment?
Yeah, there's there's a lot of key factors I feel like that were in play for this map. There's a lack of rotation, lack of like winning the gunfights actually. In this specific one, winning those gunfights was so necessary, especially with how Testin was playing, especially on that last P1 where he was holding that mid cut, taking care of all those players that were trying to come through. What else do you think like they would need to work on for the next hardpoint?
I feel like they were a little bit more separated. Every single USF player was going at their own pace. You saw sometimes Mr. Mojo would start rushing forward, and all of a sudden he'd run into an enemy and see. So it's going to be highly dependent upon how USF really works well together, or not work together, like their strategy that they're thinking right now. Each and every single team has their different strategy. So if USF believes that going individual is alone, then they need to win those firefights. But if they're going to go with groups of 2, then at least you have the guarantee that you're going to win the firefight about 80-90% of the time. So it's going to be really interesting to see, especially since we're going to go play on Berlin the next map.
Yeah. Also, I really do agree with what you were saying, especially with how Champas was playing on that top 3 part of boat. He was able to just take care of USF's players one by one because they were not playing as a group. They were playing very individual. It was very hard for USF to take a hold because of how much like spawn control GSU had on them and how much kill control they had on them.
It's going to be extraordinarily interesting because a lot of the times when they were like cycling through, I didn't see a lot of grenade use. So I don't know if it was just at the heart of the moment, it just wasn't efficient for either team to use it, or GSU was more confident in their gunfighting and they didn't have to worry about it, or USF was just very focused on getting to the hard point, which can sometimes happen, especially since it may be difficult to hear the opponent around, so sometimes you want to run into it. So as I said before, like gunfight. That is how you're going to win this game. As I'm a Halo player, one of the interesting things is like they always say before you play objective, play Slayer, for the sole reason that it takes a little bit of time to respawn to get to that point, and even those 10 seconds, 15 seconds you have to run across the map can be crucial to any game whatsoever.
Yeah, hopefully we see that in the next Search and Destroy map that's coming up. We are playing on Berlin. I think we're loading into it right now. This should be interesting. I want to hopefully see that USF like has a big change in like their play style from their hardpoint to their search. 2 different type of game modes, 2 different type of game styles. We'll see if USF can come out top on this one.
Especially since this is a first to 6. And you have 1 life. So if you die, you're not being respawned. So let's just see how efficient it's going to be on both teams.
Choppa's missing the first shot through mid. Vi coming through slowly. Testin taking care of him. This is now 4v3 GSU to USF.
Oh, yeah. And it does look like at this exact moment, GSU's playing more of the defensive at the moment. Oh, and they're getting the flank right there. So that's going to be probably detrimental to USF right there.
Yeah, now it's already a 1v3 with Napoleus taking care of it.
Yep, and
Choppa's with the pistol and the sniper not being able to let Napoleus even have a try at it.
Yeah, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer or anything, but I do feel like they are going independent again. Maybe I saw like a little bit of 2-2s, but Napoleus, especially at the end, was just kind of charging in, and maybe it was just not really knowing. But as we can see right now, they are swapping sides, so it is going to be USF going with the payload.
Yeah, one thing that like I know as like a player of COD, that working together as a team and like holding correct angles is what wins you these games. USF was not showing the best example of that for the last round, but hopefully they can show it for this round.
Certainly, that would be the hope. Mr. Pig is already down, so that's going to be a 3v4, unfortunately. But the hope would be that USF would be able to get a few of these wins. Maybe they can play a little bit more Slayer mode, as I said earlier. Oh, look at that. Mr. Mojo with the kill right there.
Yeah, bomb being planted, 40 seconds left. It is 7.5 seconds in order to defuse. Otherwise, USF takes this round.
But unfortunately, it looks like it's a 1v3 right now, and Vi is going to be the only person on USF that's still alive. So maybe he's going to be able to interrupt the defuse. If not, that is up.
Vi coming in there, not being able to take care of all 3. Sadly, it was a hard retake, and GSU played that smart. They were able to take care of the control without losing too many of their players and being able to defuse the bomb, even though 1 player was still alive.
That was smart to go with the flank, but I feel like maybe a grenade being used would have been a little bit more efficient, at least spread them out a little bit, maybe disrupt the taking out the bomb and stuff like that. But really, it's important to remember that, like, we have hindsight right here. Like, individual people in the game are going to be, like, communicating. Maybe they're having different strategies in their head. 1,000 things are going through their head, so we can't really knock on them too hard for that.
Yeah, we have Kyle and Choppa's both on a 3-0 streak right now. They are going to be... USF's got to be worried about those streaks coming up. Kyle already being taken down.
And it's a 3v3 right now. Let's just see how efficient this gunfight's going to be right here. Oh, and look at that. Testin is down, so 2 of their biggest players are really down right now. So let's just see how GSU is going to be able to respond from that since it's a 1v3 now. A good reversal for USF.
Yeah, T-shirt's taking out the first one. He has 2 more to go. USF doesn't seem to be like working as a team for this one. This is another individual play style. Hopefully it'll work out in USF's favor.
Yep, and it's 1v1 right now. Yeah, it does look like USF really enjoys that individualistic style, maybe not utilizing their grenades a lot. So, I mean, of course, every single strategy has a good and bad towards it. So it really depends on like how the team's going to be able to utilize it. Oh, and look at that! And USF got their first win of the match.
Yeah, that was good timing from Nap being able to take out Choppa's T-shirt coming up those mid stairs. It was just unfortunate timing for T-shirt. He didn't know that he was going to be there.
Yeah, and that was a good flank right there, especially from Nap. I would say, though, watching that replay, Nap got kind of lucky that the firefight was very much one-sided at that exact moment. So let's just see how it's going to go for the rest of the matches.
Yeah, we see that like GSU is very organized in the way they're playing. They're like playing together. They're playing smart. Testin already here, about to get 2 kills.
Oh, yeah.
Working on the third one, couldn't get it. We got 2 more players. They're rotating already. One's going through P5. The other one's holding top fire, being able to take care of these players. And then that was hit for the end.
Yeah, Testin really got the good two kills right there. And I feel like USF started just like, okay, we gotta get this. And unfortunately, Choppa's got the 2 final kills on him. So it really depends, as you said, like individual like firefights and things like that are going to be critical in the end of this.
Yeah, the individual play style is not working out for USF. They need to be working more as a team. There's also some problems with them just not being able to win their gunfights that they should be winning, especially with that 2-on-1 on that stairs. Choppa's was able to, I think it was Choppa's or Tenston, that was able to take care of 2 of them, which that really should not happen. Mr. Pig taking out T-shirt from fire to top mid. Kyle Hay taking out 2 players from USF. Mr. Mojo holding down A with the rotate from Nap from backside.
Yeah, so, and look at that. And he got the kill on that. Good. And now it's going to be a 1v1 for USF and GSU. So let's just see how this is going to work. If only we could have the communications. It'd be so interesting to be able to like hear like what's going on through the minds of the players. It would certainly be a very interesting series of events.
Yeah, USF definitely did not know that bomb is on A and actually moved away from the bomb site on defense. This is not going to be a good look for USF, especially with Kyle Hay assuming that USF knows where the bomb is.
Yeah, sometimes that does happen. Like you're like, oh, well, it has to be on B because they were all over near B. Sometimes it can be that. They do have 22 seconds to come back, so it just looks like Mr. Mojo is starting to come back, like realizing, bomb has been planted today. We have to go realize that, and they lost a firefight right there.
Yeah, that jump off top window to fire was just detrimental to Mr. Pig. Oh, Mr. Mojo.
Oh, yeah.
These gunfights are kind of hard to win, especially with like the lack of knowledge that Mr. Mojo had on like where the bomb was. Checking for the bomb on those bomb sites would have been very like helpful for Mojo, as he would have been able to hold down that site, waiting for Kyle to pull into the bomb site.
Yeah, as you know, it's easy for us to go like, oh, they didn't do that right. But we do have to remember, like, sometimes it is very difficult. You do have, as I said before, like many things on your mind. Certain things, certain objectives must be done. And sometimes at that quick moment, they'll get the jump on you and kill you. So let's just see how USF's going to rebound from this.
Testing with the flank already. He has a teammate back there trying to help him out for that long area.
Yeah, the firefight situation has been kind of bad, kind of struggling for USF. I don't know if it's now they're starting to restructure their strategy to be more clumped together. I didn't see any sort of like strays, but simultaneously, just GSU was able to outflank them time and time again. Sometimes they don't even have like a few seconds to like react. Sometimes you'll get 3 shots, you're like, oh, I'm already dead. Well, where did they come from? So it's going to be really interesting to see if GSU is going to be able to sweep this, or if USF's going to be able to start at least getting a few more wins on this. It's really going to depend on how efficient that they play in this next round.
Yes, I agree very wholeheartedly. These players seem to be playing like very individual, even though they are grouped together. Good shots by Pig going on Kyle Hay on the top left of Train. T-shirt trying to find a way in order to take care of both these players on A site.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see like them fighting through like the windows and everything, and seeing. Oh, and look at that, Mr. Mojo with the kill right there. It does look like they're getting a little bit better with their firefights over time.
Teston trying to get a flank onto Mr. Pig, gets it. Ooh. Now it's a 1v2 for Vi, and Vi gets taken down, and that's another win for GSU.
Yeah, it is going to be out of 3 for anyone who does not, who may have joined in a little bit late. So USF does still have the chance to win one and take it out to game 4. The main thing that's going to happen is, the two main things I'm seeing is you have to be able to keep morale high. Even though you're down 2-0, you have to be able to go, all right, what did we do wrong? What mistakes did we make? How well are they doing? Maybe we need to change up our strategy a little bit, since I do have about 30 seconds to a minute to think about this. And then number 2, ensure that your firefights are efficient. And if you have to, team 2v1 on Teston, because he's becoming like the biggest threat right now. He's always flanking USF from what we can see. And of course, there's others like Choppa's on the other team who's playing really well, but Teston is generally being the flank. And he's becoming a significant issue for USF, especially since in the next match, we are going to see that there are limited lives. There's only 30 lives left to get all the control points. So it will really, you have to play conservatively with your lives. You cannot just throw them away at any moment.
Yeah, USF needs to keep their morale high. I do agree. Reverse sweeps are possible. That sort of thing always does happen every once in a while, especially in the Pro League where Optic did it to FaZe. I'm excited to see what they do in control. We'll take a short break and we'll catch you when they start the next round. Oh, welcome back. We're going right into this. We are playing control on Gavutu. We are on defense right now. We're watching Napoleus play. Vi. GSU is already taking 50% of A site. They probably definitely have control over the top of A. We aren't able to cast where the other team is, but we'll try our hardest to explain exactly what's happening around the map.
Yeah, it does look like there is a little bit of an improvement from USF at this moment. The kills are 20-24, so it does look like it's manageable for USF. It really just depends about how we're going to be able to how USF is going to be able to contain them, because this is going to be controlling 2 separate points. So it's not necessarily the same as it was before, where it was 4v4. It can be 2v2 at times.
T-shirt taking 4 kills, taking out the entire team of USF. This is just not a good map for USF, especially since we saw in the first hard point, USF wasn't able to take control over this map, and that's point 1 to GSU.
Yeah, some of the interesting things I saw there was there was a little bit of USF seemed like they were trying to just rush as fast as they can. They probably need to be a little bit more aggressive on getting the points right now, because they do need to come back, or they will lose 0-3, and that will be the end of this match. So it really just depends about how it's going to be working. Yeah,
USF is going, I think, to push far side B. Let's see if the kills come through. Teston already won with an explosion on the bomb. Going towards the spawn in order to take care of another player. That's 3 down for Teston, 4 down for Teston. This is just not a good map for USF against GSU. They're losing every gunfight that they need to be winning. GSU is probably going to be starting their their spawn point hold. This is going to be a hard break for USF.
Yeah, especially since Teston is kind of just going off at this moment. I mean, he has 4 or 5 kills at this exact moment. So it's really going to be interesting to see how, at this exact moment, how USF is going to be able to triangulate, change their tactics, change their strategy. Because right now it's 21-24 on the kills. So USF is making some progress, but it really is going to depend on how they're able to take the points.
Yeah. Actually, USF is actually coming back in this in kills. Just as I speak, they're already taking down a few. Kyle Ha taking out Mr. Pig on circle. Choppa's taking Vi off circle. Now this is going to be the point where they start pushing the spawn from the B side. Hopefully USF can counteract. As Vi takes out Choppa, that was pushing from the far left side. Teston there to take his trade. Kyle Ha taking top 3, taking care of USF. This is going to be a round to GSU again.
Yeah, it does look like it is, unless some sort of like miracle is going to come out. Yep, as I see right there. It is kind of interesting because at times it does look like USF is really just like in panic mode, and I don't want to be like mean to anyone, but they need to like regroup. They need to be like, all right, we cannot go frustrated with this 2-0 because they need to have one more win. If they do not, then as I said earlier, the entire match is completely done and the advantage of GSU. So
I actually like this hold that they're doing for just specifically B. I would honestly, as USF, give up A and move towards B. Choppa's taking down 2 on the long beach. Is he able to take the third one out? Not as of yet, but they're not able to take out Choppa's, and his position over there is being very hard for USF to take care of the entire beach side on B side.
Was that a miss? Was that a grenade that was thrown that blew up, or was that something else?
No, so there's like fire bins around the map, and if you're able to like shoot at them or like blow them up, they will have a bigger explosion than a grenade.
Okay, yeah, because I just saw that explosion. I was like, oh, look at that. Yeah, it does look like overwhelmingly USF is being absolutely like dominated in the kill selection.
Yeah, we just saw Kyle use his bomb on top of our players. That is the second score streak that is available. The strafing run is still being usable by Kyle Ha. But honestly, with the gun skill that GSU is showing in these games, it probably won't be necessary for the final game.
Yeah, unfortunately so. It is 10 kill a difference between USF, and it does look like a little bit. No, unfortunately, sorry. It does still look like GSU is still taking the advantage on like the kills at this moment. I would definitely say that the firefight issue has become a persistent issue for USF in this match. Maybe it's just the map placements, or maybe it's just sometimes you don't have a good night when you're playing, and then this could have translated. There's any number of reasons.
Yeah, Nap is going to be the last one on A. He needs to be able to take care of this kill in order to like protect them from the capture. He is able to get that done. Mr. Mojo trying to help him out. Teston's still out there taking out Mr. Pig. Choppa's taking out Vi, holding down their spawn. It's going to be very hard like protection for A because A is the more open one. B is easier to hold on defense. And GSU is hard stuck on trying to get this B side as they do complete it. USF with 7 lives, with GSU with 22. Streaks coming out. A getting pushed. Choppa's taking down people. Teston killing Mr. Pig with all the streaks that he has available. This is just going to be another easy win for GSU, and this will make it 3-0 and then 3-0 the series.
Yeah, it is going to, as you said, it's going to be 2 more kills left on USF, 1 more left. But let's just, it may not be the best game today, but certainly USF does have potential to play really well. It's just going to be dependent upon how they're able to efficiently change up strategies. Maybe they need to have a meeting and be like, that didn't work in the last match. Maybe we need to fix that up a little bit.
Yeah, Vi with those 3 last kills looking so good out there, but Teston still being a dominant threat on the map at all times.
Yeah, and you can see right now, like, the eliminations were kind of lopsided, unfortunately, for it. Of course, at USF, we always want our teams to win, but there has to be times when we go, yes, they were playing a better game overall, and that was GSU. GSU certainly played with a lot more strategy. Their firefights were more efficient. But also, this is a good learning opportunity for USF. They always say, like, the best way to learn in a game like this is when you lose, because you're able to go back and go, well, we didn't do this right. Maybe we can switch this up. Maybe we can swap this in with that and just try harder every single day.
Yeah, I agree. GSU showed how dominant of a team they are for the CCL. And, like, as you said, the review on the VODs could be very useful for USF and, like, show a better performance for the next upcoming games. And I think that will take us out. This is USF Esports. We were capturing CCL COD Gold, and we'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time.